I'm going to be honest, some of you are not going to like the great news I'm about to share about the offense, and that's going to happen in a couple of minutes. But first, I've got a controversial take I would love your opinion on the defensive side of the ball. Hit subscribe if you're looking for daily 49ers content. Very much appreciate all of you for joining the party, but let's talk about this guy. If you don't know 5'3", this is D. Winters, and D. Winters is the guy who a lot of people are hoping is going to be the Dre Greenlaw replacement. And before I get to the good news on the offense, which I will in just a minute, I am really curious what you guys think about this. Matt Maiocco expects rookie Nick Martin to beat out D. Winters for the open linebacker spot next to Fred Warner. He is a dynamo. He plays with a certain level of tenacity and ferocity that was missing from the group last season, other than Fred Warner. I think Nick Martin starts as a rookie. Matt Maiocco, that's kind of a hot take if I'm not honest. Like if I'm telling you the truth. I don't know why I said if I'm not honest. I really think that is kind of a hot take. I know that many of you will not feel that way because you see a guy get drafted, whatever, but the 49ers have put a lot of effort into D. Winters, and they've given him the opportunity to step up, and this year is his big shot. This year, his third year in the league, this is it right here for him. If it doesn't happen now, it might never happen in the red and the gold. It might never happen in the National Football League for the guy. So I think there's a huge opportunity here, and this is clearly controversial, as folks in the comments below this could not help but talk about two potential possibilities, and they're very extreme, right? On the one hand, you have zero chance. D. Winters is a heat-seeking missile, but Nick has a shot at the third starting linebacker spot if he can stay healthy. On the other side, which we should talk about health in a second, but on the other side, Danny G says, I'm with Matt Maiocco here. A lot of people that said this was a reach are about to be very surprised, talking about the draft pick being a reach. This is exactly their prototype will linebacker. So who is going to be the will coming into the season? Let me know what you think in the comments. My money is still on D. Winters because, as I've told you before, I think he only needs just a little bit of a step up to be that level that he needs to be at. The flip side, however, where I very much admit that I could be wrong, is we have a different defensive coordinator coming in here. We have Robert Saleh coming back. This is not Nick Sorensen. And what Robert Saleh wants out of this linebacker, you know, we know what he wants, okay? He wants a Dre Greenlaw. The 49ers went after Dre Greenlaw. They tried to keep him here. They did everything they could financially to convince him to stay here, and he chose to leave for the Denver Broncos because he wanted to be the Mike. So all of that to say, my money would be, if I had to put money down, it would be on D. Winters, but I do very much understand the argument. I look forward to seeing what you guys think in the comments below. Let's get to that good news that I think many of you are not going to like. Maybe not many of you, but several of you are not going to like this good news about Brock Purdy. For me, this is good news, and this comes down to this. Either you believe Brock Purdy is the future quarterback for the 49ers or you don't, and I intentionally frame it exactly that way, because the bottom line is people being like, I think we should pay Brock Purdy $40 million. Dude's not going to take $40 million. Okay. It's not going to happen. I think we should pay Brock Purdy 35. If we could get him at 35, and I get where you're coming from. Yes. In an ideal world, we would love to pay players, a low enough amount of money that we have a ton of extra cap room to do a bunch of other things. Okay. That is unrealistic. Brock Purdy is a certain caliber of quarterback. I believe he's a tier 2 caliber of quarterback. He's up there with the very best, minus a few quarterbacks who sit in that tier 1. Okay? That's my personal opinion. You are more than welcome to disagree with me in the comments. I welcome your disagreements all the time, even when I think they're completely unbased. But whatever. The point that I want to make today, though, is that this update to the Brock Purdy situation is good. Starting with, okay, now, this is older news, okay, as it has been a couple days here, but it sets up perfectly for the new information that just came out. So the sense that I'm getting, says Diana Rossini, is Brock Purdy and the 49ers are closer than we think. I don't believe Brock Purdy would have showed up. She should have said that differently because it gets kind of confusing. I don't believe Brock Purdy shows up to OTAs if he doesn't feel good that they're near a number that he's happy with. That's how it usually works with players. Very rarely are guys showing up if they're far apart. It just doesn't work like that. Now, I'm going to open up because I know many of you, please feel free to tell me in the comments, many of you have said you do believe Brock Purdy is a team player and would show up even if the contract was far apart. So I look forward to seeing what you guys think about that, but, let Rossini keep going. So to me, just that action alone tells me that they are closer, but also doing some digging on it. I think this is still moving in a really good direction. I don't think there should be any concern. So there you have it, okay? Now, the 49ers obviously have, OTAs officially starting on May 27th. Rookie minicamp's coming up, and so there's a lot going on. Guys are playing golf together in a little tournament, and there's lots of great stuff for the camp vibes, pre-camp vibes, I should say. So OTAs are definitely in a good position right now, and we'll have to wait and see how things play out. But Diana Rossini kind of sets the tone, if you will, in saying that the team and the player must be close together because of Brock Purdy's willingness to show up and participate. They must be close. Well, Mike Florio then gave kind of an update based on the Kittle contract, what he thinks will happen for Brock Purdy with the 49ers. There we go. I kind of read the opening already. But the way Florio structures the guarantees in the deal actually lowers the average value of guaranteed money. I think I skipped a slide. I'll come back to it later. The guaranteed average at signing would be $46.8 million, Florio writes, which is a far cry from $55.1 million. And if the final year of the two contains higher salaries, let's go with $60 million in 2029 and 2030, it would really be a 4-year, $160.8 million deal, which equates to an average payout from signing of $40.2 million per year. All told, he writes that the deal's overall value would come out to $280 million. In Florio's estimation, Purdy ends up with a $55.1 million average annual value behind just Dak Prescott and Josh Allen. The other slide is kind of based on when you get past the initial guarantees and stuff like that. Okay, so there you go. AAV at $55 million. The way that it actually breaks down in terms of how it impacts your cap every single year is closer to like 40. There you go. That is a number that Florio's putting out there and saying that should be that's what's going to happen. Okay. So the good news for me, all right. Well, I'll get to the last piece here, and then I'll give you my take on this. But that could be a win-win for both sides. Purdy gets a lot of money, especially if he plays well enough to last the final years of his deal. The 49ers keep their franchise quarterback and continue to contend, which is where I come in and tell you I think this is all very good news. Yes, it's good news that Brock Purdy stayed or showed up and has been a part of team activities. That's good, okay? On top of that, the belief is that the contract is really close, maybe, as Rossini puts it, closer than people even think, okay? That's good news too. But then on top of that, you have Florio out there going and sharing a very specific scenario that could be at play thanks to the George Kittle contract that kind of spells how the 49ers plan on doing deals this offseason versus previous offseasons. And those numbers come in right about where I expect they should be. Now, I know that it's a lot of money, but remember also that the cap continues to go up. So the percentage value is different, right? The actual percentage to cap total number is a completely different number compared to the guys like that were listed before, like Dak Prescott and stuff like that. So as far as I'm concerned, I think this is good news. This is good news for the 49ers getting closer to a deal. This is good news for the 49ers getting a financial deal that I think is fair and still allows them to challenge and compete going forward. I don't think, yes, I understand compared to another rookie quarterback contract like we saw with Brock Purdy up to this point, who's only made like not even $3 million from the 49ers. You know, I get that compared to that, it seems like how are we possibly going to compete? But also recognizing that this is the world of the NFL, and any team who keeps a quarterback around outside of their rookie contract is going to end up paying them really good money, especially, you know, those, and a guy like Brock Purdy who absolutely deserves the money. He's been paid so low because he was so drafted so late at 262. So this is an opportunity, I think, for the 49ers to do right by Brock Purdy based on all of the things he's already done for the organization, but also with belief in what is coming forward, and at a number that, as the cap continues to grow, at least as it has been growing, is a number that the 49ers can afford to handle, while also keeping some great players around and bringing in and drafting some new young talent, young players. The 49ers also, of course, because they have been able to have so many draft picks year after year after year. I know they've had several years where they've given up that first rounder, and so I understand that, that's the highest value, but in terms of total number of players they're bringing in and young talent they're able to bring in, they will continue to get more, bites of the apple, if you will, getting more opportunities to try and find the right players that fit their team because they have so many draft picks. That gives them so much leverage. So I'm super bullish, super excited about where the 49ers are going. And we're now just 5 days away from rookie minicamp, which is going to be a ton of fun to talk about, ton of fun to break down, a ton of fun to watch and see. So let me know in the comments, of course, what you think about all of this stuff. And I hope that you guys are having a fantastic weekend.